Season 2, out December.8, takes Jeremy Clarkson, James May and Richard Hammond from Mozambique to Colorado. But this time, the studio tent is staying put in Clarkson's backyard. Amazon Prime Video Live and Let Die is a distinct possibility when the Grand Tour hosts try to drive vintage Jaguars down the steepest slopes Telluride, Colorado, has to offer. Photo, Ellis O'Brien, Amazon Prime. When viewers tune in for Season 2 of Amazon's The Grand Tour, the first of 12 weekly episodes began streaming Friday, they'll discover that it's a lot more like their former series, BBC's Top Gear, than the first season of the new show featuring the car-loving trio of Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May. We looked at the show with a critical eye, because we're our own best critics, and made some changes based on things we didn't like, just minutes after we read that everyone else didn't like them, May deadpans. We're clever like that, Hammond chimes in. In their first season on Amazon, the trio tried a little too hard to distance themselves from Top Gear, which collapsed in 2015 after Clarkson was ousted for punching a producer. Some of the new bells and whistles failed to impress longtime viewers, namely, the traveling studio tent, the chatty new American test driver and celebrity brain crash, which killed its famous guests before they could set foot in the tent or a car. The studio tent now permanently resides within spitting distance of Clarkson's southwestern English home in the Cotswolds. Money spent tearing down and rebuilding the studio every week to set Grand Tour apart from Top Gear, which continues with new hosts, was invested in upgrading the show's already stunning visuals. James May, left, Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond, seen here during a segment filed in Mozambique, don't do as well on water as they do on wheels. Photo, Ellis O'Brien, Amazon. You can see us drive cars all over the world, which is what we're sort of known for, as opposed to being in a tent all over the world, which is not really what we're known for, May says. It was a bit of a choice, and we went with the cars and adventure in the end. This season's filmed segments include a muddy trek to Mozambique, where they transported fish to impoverished inland areas, Colorado, where they attempted to drive Jaguars down ski slopes, and New York, where they resurrected an old Top Gear staple, racing different forms of transportation. The final indication that this season is closer to the old Top Gear, Hammond is having catastrophic accidents, just like old times. While shooting in Mozambique last March, he recounted via Grand Tour's companion website Drive Tribe, I fell off a motorbike many times, in fact, and yes, I banged my head and everything else. And in June, while shooting a segment in Switzerland, he rolled a Rimac Concept 1, a Croatian electric sports car worth nearly $1 million, during a timed hill climb in Switzerland, causing it to burst into flames. In 2006, Hammond sustained a traumatic brain injury in another horrific accident while his partners were back in London. This time, May was 30 seconds behind him.